Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am making a activated charcoal and coffee infused soap, and I'm doing the melt and pour method. That's my activated charcoal. I already pre-melted my soap. So you want to do that in 30-second intervals in your microwave. And I'm spritzing the activated charcoal that I just added into the soap so that it'll dissolve easier into my melt and pour. You just want to stir that in. And I used a brambleberry color block for the brown that I have in my other that other glass container on the right. I used the brown and a you know what, I want to say that's a shimmering bronze with it. So here I'm going to add the fragrance, which is from Brambleberry. It's the espresso, and it smells so good. If you love the smell of coffee, you're definitely going to love that fragrance. And it really stays in the melt and pour bar of soap for a long time. And even when you use it in the shower, it still has a beautiful fragrance to it. So yeah, I'm just kind of like eyeballing how much I want to place into the soap. And you just want to stir it in. So yeah. Hopefully, if you guys have any questions on any of the soaps that I make, please feel free to leave me comments down below. I try my hardest to answer any comments or questions if you have any. So here, I decided at last minute that I wanted to add a couple of coffee grounds to the bottom part of my soap. So I'm just eyeballing. I'm just going to add a couple of the coffee grounds into that little cup that I had my activated charcoal in. And I'm just going to add it in. Sorry, it was just kind of like an afterthought, and I wanted to leave that in just so you can see that even if it's at last minute, you can definitely add whatever you want to your soap. It's your soap, and you can customize it however you want. So yeah, and I went ahead and I sprayed my mold with the alcohol. That'll make it easier for it to pop out, and it also eliminates air bubbles. So stir it really well and then add your soap into your mold. Now I'm just adding my coffee grounds. And again, you can add as many as you want. I didn't want to add too much. I just kind of wanted it to be at the bottom part of my melt and pour soap. That way, because I've made it with coffee grounds before, and it's a little too abrasive if you put too much. And some people don't like that. So it's really personal preference. So that's a chopstick that I'm using that I just get from when we order sushi. And those little chopsticks make a great tool for mixing and swirling your soap. So if you enjoy sushi, I would save those if they give you extras. And I'm just kind of like poking the soap so that it can start getting that swirl effect. And then here, my soap was getting so thick that I had to remelt it. And you can do that too. And you can see there's like clumps in there. So yeah, you just want to just do that. and every bar of soap that you make will not be completely the same if you're doing a swirl technique, because you never know exactly how the soap is going to react. It's kind of hot in Vegas right now, so it takes my soap a little bit longer to cool down. So I was kind of waiting on it to kind of cool down so then I could pour them in. And what happens is if you pour them in too hot, it'll kind of just all blend in together and you won't be able to see that bronzy brown in with the black. So yeah. After you're finished pouring it to the top, you're going to want to spray it again with the alcohol. That way you get rid of any air bubbles that you have kind of lingering at the top. And I'm just using my chopstick and I'm doing a couple more swirls. And then that's it. So I give mine a complete 24 hours before I unmold it. And I know that you can do it sooner, but I just like waiting until the very next day. So yeah. Hi guys. Okay, so it's been 24 hours and I am going to unmold my soap. I'm sorry, my baby, my son, he's like in this part of the video. He loves looking at the soap when I pull it out, and he actually thought this one was like chocolate soap, which was kind of cute. It definitely doesn't smell like chocolate. It smells like coffee, like tons and tons of coffee. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'm using a tape measure that I have that I use to measure my soap out, and I like doing this so then I can get a more accurate like cut when I go ahead and cut my soap. So I like to mark it at 1 inch increments, if that makes any sense. And I'm using that like crimped cutter. I don't know the correct word for that. I'm sorry. It has like grooves in it. So I'm using that one. And I got that cutter at Michael's. And I also buy my melt and pour soap at Michael's. And I always use the coupons whenever I get them. And I have the app too, which is, it comes in handy. I love how the colors came out on this melt and pour. I did have a little bit of a problem with the last couple bars of soap that I cut, and you'll see it right now when I show you. I guess one of the cubes didn't completely melt, and when I poured my soap in, you can definitely see it. See that right there? So you want to make sure your soap is completely melted. But other than that, I think they turned out really cute. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.